time that was written, the Jewish diaspora went from the Middle East right up to France. It was in North Africa, and it was in the Persian Empire. The Jews were everywhere. So in the Quran, in the Quran, it has a verse, has two verses. One, it says that people claim to have knowledge of the Torah, but they kind of make things up. And the other one, it says that they write it with their own hands. But they're two separate verses. They're not the same verse. Sure. Let's assume this was true. Let's assume then that this happened around the time of Muhammad in Medina, and this is what was going on.
It happened prior, much prior.
Where does it say that? Where does it say it was prior?
You're a big man.
Because it was.
Stop begging.
There is a 600 years.
No, but it says there are a party of them who write it with their own hand and exchange it for
between Jesus and Prophet Muhammad. 600 years.
You know when we
the
use
Bible was written.
The
Bible was written 300 years after Jesus.
Right. But if you read that naturally, you would assume that this was written around the same time period.
No, because that's your understanding.
Well, how do you understand?
Because I know you said something good about history, right?
Yeah.
You know the time between Jesus and Prophet Muhammad, 600 years. And the time that the Bible was written, 300 years. So 300 years before the time of Prophet Muhammad.
You can say it could have happened, but can you show me that it did happen? You've got no date to give me when that happened.
You asked for a phrase from Quran. I show you the phrase from Quran, and now you choose.
No, there were two phrases. No, there were two phrases that you joined together, and they weren't the same. But this is the one. This is the clincher. This is the one. This is the one. This is the reason why I reject what you say. Because if I can just say this,
can I show you the other phrase that you asked for? Okay, it's about the whole religion.
Okay, go on. Yeah, please do. Yeah.
What do you mean he don't agree with that? Because he couldn't answer you, but there is, you can read it.
Okay, what does it say here? If anyone desires a religion other than Islam, never will it be accepted. But I don't believe in Islam. But you have to believe in the Torah and the Injil.
Sir, you know, changing. You said, show me something that I shouldn't believe in the written Bible. I show you something we shouldn't believe in the whole religion.
The difference is,
I'm a Christian, I don't
difference is, I'm not required as a Christian to believe in the Quran, correct? Are you required to believe in the Torah and the Injil as a Muslim?
In the truth.
Now we're getting to it. Now we're getting to it. So you're saying to me, in love, you're saying to me that the Torah and the Injil were corrupted prior to the revelation of Muhammad. So then, okay, let's just unpack this. So why, if that's true, do we have these verses in the Quran? Okay, O people of the book, believe in what we've now revealed, confirming what was already with you. And Allah will teach him the book and the wisdom and the law and the gospel at the time of Jesus. Allah taught him the book, the wisdom, the law and the gospel. Was that the false or the true?
At the time,
can I finish these last one? Because there's a weight of them. Indeed, we sent down the Torah in which is guidance and light. Oh, you have believed in Allah and his messenger and the books that he sent down before. Whoever disbelieves in Allah, his angels, his books. So you believe in the books? You believe in them? Okay, and his messengers of the last day. So if you're in doubt about which we have revealed to you, ask those who've been reading the scriptures. Why would Allah say, ask me as a Christian? So you can ask me. But if they're corrupted, okay, I know, but that's saying that at the time of Muhammad, that there. Here's what. Have you heard of Waraka?
Waraka bin Nawfal.
Okay, he was the one. He was the uncle of Muhammad. Okay,
no, uncle of Khadija. Uncle of Khadija, his wife. Waraka bin Nawfal.
Muhammad's
wife.
Okay, all right. Well, in Bukhari it says Waraka would write the gospel in Hebrew as much as Allah wished him to. Now this is at the time of Muhammad. So why would Allah ask Waraka to write the gospel in Hebrew if it's corrupt? Nothing you've said in those two voices can undo this whole weight of evidence which is saying you do have the Torah, you do have the Gospels, you even have. What relation would Waraka be to Muhammad?
He's uncle-in-law.
In-law. So in English it would be. Okay. And also, Article 3 of the Iman, your Articles of Faith, says that you must believe in them. So what I'm showing these gentlemen here, all the verses from the Quran, where Allah is saying to believe in these books, there's guidance and light, Jesus is confirming them. Also we have in Bukhari that Waraka, who was a relation through his brother, who has also got the Gospels and the Torah, and he's writing them out. And and they're required to believe it as an article of faith.
You know,
and I want to see very clearly, this is what I need, if what you say is true, there is no way there would not be a verse in the Quran that says disbelieve the books that came before. What we have is the opposite.
Correct.
Over and over again, Allah is saying believe in them. Now, I can show you what the versions of the Christians and the Jews believed at the time. Now, you would say they're corrupted. Okay, I would want to examine those two verses to see if they can undo all of this. And also, I'd say to you, well, where are they? Where are the ones that were around 600 years prior to Muhammad? Because they would have had them.
You should ask Christian people and Jews.
Yeah, but no, I've asked
so you don't
believe,
so you don't believe they were corrupted? That's what your argument is.
I don't believe. I believe the ones that Muhammad was talking about, that Allah was talking about in the Quran, were the ones that were in existence at the time, and everything that he says naturally confirms what I've said. You've got two verses. We've actually got them here. Do you cover, O hope of believers, that they would believe for you while a party of them used to hear the words of Allah and distort them, right? A party of them. So there were some people somewhere at some time who heard some of the words and distorted them, but that's not the written word, that's through hearing. Then we move to the other one. This is the only verse that you've got that you would use as your key text to do away with everything else, and it's, so woe to them that write the scriptures with their own hands. Yeah. Then they say this is from Allah in order to exchange it for a small price. Woe to them for what their hands have written. Now, throughout the whole of Judea, in every synagogue, there would be a Torah scroll. Tell me how an incident that happened in Medina, in a small group of people who used to write some, we haven't even got the details there, how could that, this is my yeah, sure, but how could this statement then get into every synagogue, into every Torah scroll, without any of the Jewish nation knowing it? And they also had the oral Torah in the Talmud. How come the Jewish people who had an oral Torah, which was a tradition that they memorized, and they had all of these, it doesn't make sense.
It's what you have in your Bible right now.
How do I know?
Yeah, because you have so many Bibles, right?
Yeah.
So many variants.
You don't. You do now, but not at the time of Muhammad. You did.
Come on. How
you
do you
don't.
know that?
Because I've got them. At the time of Muhammad, there were three translations. There was the Vulgate, there was the Septuagint, which is the Greek one, okay, and there was the Syriac.
That's what you say.
No, this is what history says.
No,
this is what history.
That's what you say.
Okay.
So can I ask you a question before you go on?
Let me finish. What do you think of my answer? You said
I don't answer.
You don't believe there was a Septuagint?
No, because I don't know, so I cannot be.
All right.
But why there is only one version of Quran? And there is so many versions of Bible.
Well, you
Why
say
do you think that?
Okay.
Why people were able to change or add or remove words from Bible? Nobody were able for 14 centuries to change the Holy Quran.
Well, you know what? I think we need to get, if we get the timeline right, because this helps me. Let's see what we agree with. I believe there was a man called Jesus Christ. I'll get to this one answer.
No, you don't answer. I ask you a question. I ask you something.
No, I'm going to answer it, but I need to get the timeline right first, so then I can link to answer your question. Okay. Right, we agree.
AFGAN MO.
We agree as a Muslim and a Christian. There was a man called Jesus. I'm not trying to trick you. We're walking to see what we agree on first, so then we can go from there.
Exactly what the
Quran says. Ask a question.
All right.
I don't know. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know.
Okay. There was a man called Jesus. This man called Jesus had a message that he preached.
Yeah.
This man called Jesus, who was preaching this message, had followers who heard the message.
Yeah.
When Jesus died, those people who heard the message, they proclaimed the message by word of mouth.
Yes.
Later on, those people who proclaimed that message by word of mouth wrote it down.
No.
What happened then? Now I want to hear.
300 years after Jesus. How come you say the people who heard the message that wrote it? 300 years.
Yes.
Nobody lived for 300 years at the time of Jesus. Come on.
No, it wasn't 300 years. The
No,
earliest,
it was written.
the earliest manuscript we got is from around 125. It's not 300 years.
300 years was written.
I think the difference.
You need to refresh your
No, I
but you
know
didn't
that
answer
the
my
Gospel of
question.
John
You
is
didn't
about
answer my
125.
question. Why there is one version of Quran?
Yes.
There is so many versions of Bible.
Okay, well there isn't just one version of the Quran, there are 7 qira'ats, which are 7 translations, and they do vary considerably in the way the text is
They
written.
mean the same.
They don't detract, they mean...
No.
Could you answer?
No, I'm talking about
You mean
one
different
version
no, the book is
Quran
one.
in Arabic. There is no change
No,
whatsoever.
there are 7 to 10
No,
qira'ats.
when they accent.
You're talking about how I read the Quran
Yes.
and how my accent.
The
That's
printed
totally
versions
different.
are different.
No. No.
They are. They
No,
are.
you're
I'm
wrong.
sorry.
No, you're
How
wrong.
could they? How could they be? I go to Islamic sites and I type in a surah and it will give me the different translations. It's not something to hide. Essentially, the
I'm not
message is
talking about
identical.
translation. I'm not talking about translation now. I'm talking
Arabic
about
itself.
the Arabic version of Quran. It's one. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but there are different translations.
The translation is something else.
Translation
because you have to
is
translate it to
up
different
to the
languages.
scholar.
Sure.
Because if you translate
And
it
how he
to
puts
English, it will give you maybe
Right.
different meanings sometimes. And also
You
the
get-
translation between English and French and Spain, like that.
Yeah.
So this, I'm not talking about
Okay,
this.
so you're
I'm
talking
talking
about
about the Arabic. Because if I give it to you, if you are Muslim, and if you know the Arabic language, I give you the Quran, you will be able to read it, right?
Yeah.
If Indian, if Pakistani, if somebody from Africa, from South Africa, you will be able to read it.
Okay.
So there is only one version of Quran.
Right.
That didn't change for 14th century. Didn't change. Why there is so many versions of Bible?
This is a very important question and one that deserves a direct and respectful answer. Okay, the Quran claims to be the dictated word of God from Allah direct to Muhammad, with no agency in between, direct from God, revealed to Muhammad.
That's not true.
Muslims believe that. Tell me.
Some virgin came through the angel, Jibreel, and something was like, direct. So it's not like that. No, you're totally wrong. It's not like a direct.
Can I ask him? Because I need to know of somebody else as well to confirm that, because I've never heard that.
Afghan.
Afghan. Right. Am I right in saying that the Quran is the dictated word of God directly from Allah to Muhammad? Is that right?
Yes.
Well, he says it isn't the case.
He's saying it was
Oi, oi.
from God to Muhammad.
To Muhammad, yeah.
Some of them I feel directly, some of them through Jibreel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
but he's an
said
agent
not
of God.
everything.
But no, Jibreel is just, but it came from God. The message came from God.
No, the message came to Jibreel and then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
said.
but by direct, not through another human agency.
No,
That's what I'm
no,
talking
no.
about. That's all I wanted to say. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the Bible doesn't claim to be that.
Yeah, because it was written by men.
The Bible claims to be the inspired word of God, which is not the same as the dictated word of God. What happened was, as we went through that timeline, there were followers of Jesus who heard what is preached and who witnessed his deeds. They later recorded those in what the Christians call the Gospels. In the Quran it says that Jesus as a baby was given the Gospel. Okay. Now, at the time of Muhammad, there were 3 translations of the Bible in existence. In the West, you had the Vulgate, which was the Latin version. I've got them all. I'm going to answer this. In the East, you had the Septuagint, which is the TNTS Greek's version. But the Aramaic, which would have been the language that the people of Arabia would have spoken, had the Peshitta version.
Slow down.
Okay. If you want to get the 3 of those together and you want to tell me that they're corrupt, the onus then is on you to provide me with an uncorrupt version which you believe was in existence.
I asked you a simple question. You failed so many times.
No, I've answered it. I've answered it at every level.
Regardless of the way that the Quran, the Holy Book, to Muhammad, to Jesus, to Moses.
You know the Quran and the Bible aren't the same.
My English is not as good as yours.
All right, no,
sorry, but
no, you're doing good.
regardless of the way that was revealed, we know the Holy Books that come from God to his prophets. Regardless of that, my question, why there is only one version of Quran, one for 14 centuries, and there is so many versions of Injil or of Bible?
Right. How do they vary, these different versions?
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying, why there is one version, nobody could have changed it. Could have changed it, add words or remove words.
I've got the answer.
What happened?
Hang on, there's a
what happened? No, what happened?
Let me answer you.
No.
Oh, Mama.
It connects. It connects. What if this the brother is saying correct? What happened in 1611 in King James?
I don't
what happened?
No, you're talking about corrupt Bibles.
No, see, that's our
the difference
point.
is this: there are ancient languages that don't move. The ancient language. Can I please?
No,
please.
No, because I haven't finished.
I'm not allowed.
And the corruption, the Bible, is not upon us; it's upon you.
Yes.
Me.
As a Muslims, we say that this is the Quran. Look,
Right.
what God cannot be a man and human. As a human yourself, you know
Sure.
God cannot be a
In
man.
order for me to be free of the claim you've made, I've gone to the most ancient versions of the Bible. And these were written in immovable language. Latin is immovable, Greek is immovable, Aramaic is immovable. Human languages outside of ancient languages, they change every 100 years. You imagine what they were speaking 100 years ago in England. We didn't, so they need to update and need to change things, and the meaning changes and gets lost. So we need to go to the original ancient text, the immovable text. And all, for me, if I have to believe in the Christians and I have to believe in the Jews, I go to them for my sources. And I come up with the Septuagint, the Vulgate, and the Aramaic. And they were the only three that were around at the time of Muhammad. Now, if these aren't the versions, if these are the corrupt versions, but we know that there were versions around because Waraka was writing them, why are there no evidence? There's not one shred of evidence that they ever existed. And they should be. If I can provide you with lots of evidence you say is false.
If they change, if they have changed.
No, but show me the original one.
How can I show you?
They disappeared.
That they disappeared and they have changed.
So
How
what
can I show
happened to
you?
them? What happened to them?
It's clear.
No, what
It's
happened to
clear.
them? Did the Christians have any books? Did the Christians? And what did they have? What did they have?
Changed by Christians.
Colin, one point. One point. Colin.
Right,
Yeah, but we're talking about my books, not yours.
Bill.
I accept
Not
your
Bill.
claim. I
Colin.
accept
It's not
that
answering you,
can
say
prove
Colin.
to me-
Bill.
Joseph.
Your position is
Joe.
because I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Stop asking
I'm
me that.
saying that as far as your evidence goes, you'll be able to say to me, I can show you a Quran.
admit I'm right.
No. Colin. There's no harm in this man. You can see there's no guile or wickedness in this man.
I told him your name was Bill, Joseph.
Listen.
Yeah.
Our point is,
Come to Jesus, man. Come on,
Colin,
come on.
please,
Jump the
listen to
river.
me.
Jump the river.
listen to me. It's from my heart. I swear.
yeah.
Wallahi.
Oh, you've got me already. Come on, I love it. I'm coming over, man.
Listen, when Jesus said
Yeah.
in the Bible that Father is greater than all, Father is greater than I.
Yes.
When he says that,
Yes.
it clearly says go to the Father directly.
Sure.
It's such a clear verse that you cannot
Can I show you?
cannot go
Okay.
and go to the corruption that which Paul and others have
But
put
that wasn't
into
corrupt.
it.
What you just said wasn't corrupt.
Yes, we say it. That's
How
why.
do you know?
Because Quran proves that the oneness of God.
this is it.
No, but look, all the prophets,
Yeah.
all the prophets when they came, there's only one God.
Yeah, I only believe
and
in my
that's
God.
it.
Could I just say this?
So
As a
the
Christian,
continuation, when here Jesus comes,
Yeah.
he still says the Father is greater than I.
Sure.
But when it comes to Paul, it corrupts it.
Okay, let me try and respond.
Then when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ comes,
Okay, I believe
when
in one
Jesus
God.
said that the
Okay.
Comforter will come,
Sure,
when
sure.
he gave the last revelation
Okay.
and tells the people of the Bible, oh Christian, your emotions, you're emotional.
Yes.
You just believe that Christ died for your sins, that's it. And the Prophet says, no, don't say that he's the Son of God.
Can I try and answer
Don't
this?
say three.
Okay.
Just La ilaha illallah.
Can I just say this as a Christian?
And that's what Jesus said.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Jeez.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God, the Lord is one. I believe in one God. All Christians believe in one God.
So why do you take Jesus to divinity?
No,
Why?
No. Now we're going to break this down. There are two ways of examining the verses in this, and in the Quran, and in any sacred text. This might sound boring and musty, but there's exegesis and eisegesis. Exegesis. I'm going to ask Hashim or Mansour if they can bear my company.
Now where are they? So they could
They'll
take
be
over.
there. Exegesis means a process of careful investigation using a variety of critical disciplines to draw out the original meaning of the text in their correct historical and literary context. That's what we should do to a verse. The opposite is eisegesis, which is a process of interpreting a text by introducing one's own presuppositions, agendas and biases, often used in an attempt to prove one's own pre-held belief and to provide the reader with confirmation bias according to his own agenda. Unfortunately, when my Muslim friends attempt to interpret the Christian text, they already have.
No, what is to
pre-held
interpret
agenda.
it?
Their criteria.
What
the
is to
Quran.
interpret? My father is greater than I.
I'll show you with a cup of coffee. I'll show you with a cup of coffee.